This is Darth Deuces here, and our Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figure review. Excuse me, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Black Series 6-inch Supreme Leader Snoke Throne Room set. This set, I'm pretty sure, is an exclusive to GameStop. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it is, though. I think Geek, I guess. But up here in Canada, you can get it in EB Games. That's pretty much the same thing as GameStop. I was a little surprised to actually see these in EB Games already. Not gonna lie, we don't get things on time usually, but nevertheless, we did. It's pretty cool. So here he is in the box. I didn't get a box that was really in overly decent shape. All the boxes are kind of bashed up. But if you are an in-box collector, this would actually be a really cool piece to get to keep in the box because he's already pretty much set up on his throne, sitting on it. So it has a little backdrop going on in there, like actually designs of his throne room, I think. So that's really cool. Now you get an image of Snoke right there, which looks really good. You got all the names and whatnot. On the side, you just have that. There's no number because he's an exclusive. Pretty cool image of Snoke there. You got a readout which says the shadowy commander of the First Order, Supreme Leader Snoke prefers to operate from a distance, looming over his underlings in the form of an immense hologram. As the First Order rallies, this master of the dark side emerges from the shadows to seize victory. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to play out in The Last Jedi, for sure. But that's pretty much it for the packaging, not much else to say. This figure is getting a single release without the throne, so if you don't want to pay the extra money to have the throne, or for whatever reason, the next wave of Black Series figures, he will be released on his own. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let me get him out of the packaging and all set up, and we'll take a closer look at the figure and his throne. Alright, now I have Snoke and his throne out of the packaging, and it's an interesting figure. We haven't seen much of him in the movies yet, so it's hard to get a feel for what he's going to be like. I can say right now, I'm not sold on his fashion sense yet. I'll get more into that later. But yeah, so first I guess we'll take a look at the throne, which is the only, I guess, accessory he comes with, because he doesn't come with anything else. So I guess I'll move him off the side real quick. Here's the throne, and the throne is really cool. If there's anything that makes this set really cool, it is the throne. And it is very nice. You've got like the sculpted padding for where you'd sit his ass on. There's very little assembly. All you gotta do is plug this little bottom piece into the front, which is super easy. It's a very solid to a degree. It's not very heavy because I'm pretty sure it's just hollow. But it's not, doesn't feel super cheap or anything, I guess, which is good. And you got some nice paint apps. Like you got the light grays. You got some little paint details right here. You got these dark grays, this light blues. I'm assuming is simulating like lighting. And you got like some orange and red little things here, which is cool. There's some little rivets there and whatnot. The little platform looks pretty good. You got sculpting and paint on the sides, and they also sculpted the back a little bit as well, which is pretty cool. I can appreciate that. And all your screws and whatnot are on the back, so they're probably hidden pretty well. You got, again, more paint apps and whatnot there as well. Throne's really cool. It's quite big as well. It's taller than the Supreme Leader, and he's also a pretty tall figure, so that's really cool. There's not much else to say about that. I'll show Snoke sitting on it later. But let's get on to Snoke. The figure. And like I said, he's getting a standard release where you would just get this figure and not the throne. And like I said, I'm not completely sold on his fashion sense. The coloring's a little weird. The gold's kind of weird, though it does have a sense of regalness. I'll give it that. It kind of makes him look a bit more regal than maybe Palpatine would. It also kind of looks like a giant bathrobe. And the sash around his belt, around his waist, doesn't help that. And then what's underneath the robe also doesn't help that. I'm not really going to show underneath because not a whole lot to go on about. Basically, underneath he's just wearing like some white pants and some white shirt, pretty much. Not too much to go on about. What is nice is the head sculpt. And I think the head sculpt is really good, especially for not having any printing technology. It looks really good. You've got a lot of different paint going on. You got like this reddish color as well as skin tones and yellowish put all mixed together to give it his skin tone that really cool and creepy kind of look. He's got all the scarring and whatnot, which is sculpted really nicely. The eyes are sculpted and painted pretty well. he looks pretty mean and whatnot. The scar on his head looks really nice. Sculpting to make it look deep looks good. Ears look good as well. Flip around the bottom, he's back, he's got the scars there, which look really cool. It'll be a little hard to see. You got some really nice sculpting work on the torso, where his neck is and whatnot. It looks really, really good as well. The robe itself isn't. You can unplug his belt and open it up. You can't remove it because it's attached to his back here. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could cut the threads that are holding it there if you want to remove it. But then I don't think you'd be able to have his collar staying up. But yeah, and then you got the robe, and that's pretty much all else. The soft goods that's used, it is nice. It's sparkly for some reason. I'm assuming it's sparkly in the movie. So you got some of this glitter thing going on. Soft goods, like I said, the quality of it's pretty nice. I'm not going to complain too much there. It's fraying a little bit, but it's not too bad. The sleeves fit his form very nicely. And if there's anything that the soft goods robe does do right, it fits on him very well. The belt here is a pliable plastic. It's in a shiny gold paint, and you can unplug it to open it up, which I will do for you in a minute. Hands here, nicely sculpted. He's got a ring on his finger there. I don't know if the ring is of any significance or not. We will see. Maybe it's his Schwartz ring. Lol. Bad joke. But yeah, this is probably his accessory gripping hand, if you could grip accessories. I'm guessing he's not going to use a lightsaber in the movie, but I guess who knows. And then he has this gesturing hand, which is very cool. Maybe if he's not going to be using any sort of accessory, maybe it would be nice to get both hands as gesturing like this, but it still is what it is. And the gesturing hand is really cool, sculpted nicely. It's got the longer fingernails going on. Look pretty cool. And I guess one other thing that doesn't help sell me on the fashion sense is he's literally wearing slippers. Like, if the bathrobe wasn't bad enough, he's wearing gold slippers. I mean, the sculpt's nice and the paint's nice, but he's wearing slippers. The sculpt of his legs are good, though. And we'll get a closer look at the underneath there in a minute. But yeah, overall, it's not bad looking at all. I guess it's your personal taste. I don't think the robe is overly intimidating, but that's just me as well. I do think the sculpting of his body and his head looks really, really good, though. Alright, I'll get the robe opened up real quick, and we'll take a look underneath. Alright, now I have the robe opened up, and you can see what I'm talking about here. What is cool is that the sculpt is nice in terms of they got the contortions and whatnot of his body well done, but it's pretty much just like this white robe, kind of white tunic and pants going on. There's really nothing much going on underneath, but he has the pant legs of his pants looking really short, which I think just looks really weird. It's not too bad when you have the robe around it, obviously, but still. And you got some bit of sculpted detail on it. There's not a whole lot going on. There's the back of him. Yeah, no, it's just funny looking, I think. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It's not a huge deal or anything, but it's just an observation. I guess while we have him like this, we'll go down articulation. He's pretty good. Not as good as some. He has a ball joint at the head, but he has like 2 ball joints. He doesn't have the hinge, though. I'm assuming they didn't give him the neck hinge because his neck's a little thin, and it would have taken away from the sculpt. It doesn't bother me too much. You can still look up a decent amount and down a decent amount and pivot and whatnot, so it's not too bad. His ball hinges at the shoulders, swivels at the biceps, double hinges at the elbows, pretty cool, and ball hinges at the wrists. A ball joint at the torso, but it's a little awkward to work with because of the way it's sculpted with all the different weird angles. It doesn't move as well as you'd like it to. He has no swivel at the waist, that I can see. Ball hinges at the hips, swivel cuts at the thighs, double hinges at the knees, and hinges at the ankles with rockers. They can move up pretty good, move down pretty good, and do all you want to do with that. So articulation-wise, not bad at all. You can get him in some poses. I mean, I'm just going to have him either standing around or sitting on his throne, so he doesn't really need a ton of articulation, I guess, but it's good to have it. I'm going to get him quickly buttoned up again, and I will do some quick size comparisons. Alright, now I'll do some quick size comparisons. Here he is with the recent Elite Praetorian Guard, which I need to get another one of, but Snoke is much taller than him. Here he is with a First Order Stormtrooper, again, much taller than him. And then moving this guy aside, and then putting him with his apprentice, Kylo Ren. I don't have the Last Jedi one yet. I'd like to get the Walmart is exclusive of him, hopefully. and again, taller than Kylo Ren. So he's a pretty tall figure. I mean, we got that impression already that he's going to be a tall character, and they sculpted it to be that way, so that is good. And then finally, I will get him posed on his throne for you. And here he is sitting on the throne, which is easy to do. The articulation and the soft goods allow for him to be sat in a sitting pose, no problem. And he looks really good on the throne. This is a really cool display piece, and it would be a really cool kind of centerpiece for your First Order display. Overall, I think this is a cool figure. Is it essential to your collection? Not really. It depends. If you're collecting the Last Jedi figures, and especially if you're a First Order collector, I think this is a must-get. I think if you're gonna commit to buying Snoke, I think you should put the extra money in to get the throne with him instead of getting the single release. I think the extra money is worth it for the throne. I really wish they would have done something like this for the Emperor Palpatine figure. I think it would have been a much better figure if they did something like this and gave him the throne. But I'm really happy they did it with this figure. It just looks really good, even with my kind of complaints about the design choices for Snoke's robe. I gotta admit, he looks pretty impressive on the throne. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the figure in the comments below. And as always, may the Force be with you.